All right. Yes, that's too much fun. Thank you, Rachel. Back in July, we welcomed a new member of the WHAS family. Every Sunday morning, Moxie Talk with Kirt Jacobs gives viewers an intimate look into the lives of some of the Kentuckiana's most influential people. After nearly 13 years on the air, Kirt Jacobs has interviewed more than 250 local athletes, performers, government officials, and professionals, all with one thing in common. They all have Moxie, and he is just getting started here. He's got a full roster of interviews planned for 2018, including this Sunday's episode featuring former Governor Steve Beshear. Kirt, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Tony. Thanks for having me.
Looking good. Boy, 250.
253 to be exact.
I love it. I love it. So are you going to share, so you have all these up and there will be a compilation on the show? Is that what you're going to do?
Well, there's a full integrated website, MoxieTalk.com, that has everything on there. It's podcasted, all of the interviews. 13 years worth, probably 300-400 hours of content.
I love it. Now tell me about Moxie. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, courage. Usually everyone in this sphere of influence of Moxie has courage. What I look at is, do they have a story that's worth sharing, and is it an engaging story? So they can be a business leader, they can be a government official, they can be a recovering, frankly, prostitute who's turned their life over to God and getting people off the street, that kind of thing. Role models. It could be all walks of life, but they've had to do something really exceptional in their life.
What do you get away from this? I know that I've obviously done interviews my whole entire life. There are so many times that I take away more from the interview than the person I'm interviewing, right?
Right. Well, I love interviewing the people and doing the research and connecting with them. And then there's something really, frankly, angelic that happens, kind of like what we're doing at the moment.
Right.
When you spend 30 minutes with someone and you talk about their life and it's their words, they really open up and the cameras kind of melt away. And in those, you get some really beautiful moments. And sadly, when we've had 14 pass away.
Oh, my gosh.
And when that happens, they become priceless, these interviews. And with all the technology and media we have now, sadly, we just don't really interview people like this.
And I'm expecting, because I know you, I'm expecting some real emotion in some of these interviews. And it could be like therapy, right? So like you said, the cameras kind of melt away. I know I try to get my interviewees sometimes to cry on camera.
I don't.
You don't do that?
I try not to.
I try because I'm like, yes, it's crying. Barbara Walters-esque. But name me some of the favorite ones we're going to see coming up.
Well, we've got Terry Meiners coming up.
Oh,
we interviewed him. He'll be coming up later this year.
Oh, I've interviewed him 4
just
million
a few times. This is a little different, though. It's a little different. And then we've got Governor Beshear, former Governor Beshear. Dr. Joseph Flynn of the Norton Cancer Institute will be coming up soon.
Now, tell me about this Beshear interview. What do you cover with that? Because obviously his son is in the news. His son is in this fight with the governor. And it's almost every single day. His son is going to run for governor, so he could be back in the fight. Tell me about that interview.
Well, that interview is basically about their life journey. I don't get into politics. I don't get into the gotcha. What I do is talk about that person and how they became who they are. And everything else is the backdrop.
All right.
So we don't do that.
Kirt, tell me in 30 seconds or less about your story then.
My story
Where are you from?
I'm from Louisville. I'm native born. Known you for many years, in and outside of the camera, but I digress.
Yes.
And I came to this by way of working through the Young Professionals Association of Louisville in 2005. And 13 years later and 250 interviews, and now we're being able to interview people from all walks of life and going to be out at the Breeders' Cup. We're at Bourbon and Beyond this year. So,
what's your favorite part about doing this job?
The humanity. Getting inside somebody's noggin, which has actually gotten harder because there's so much distraction now. But when people open up and connect with you, we've somewhat lost that ability to do that easily now with social media and whatnot. But what we're doing here is hard to come by.
Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
It's good to see you. I love what you're doing.
You got to be on the show.
Book me. I'm in there. You
All
can
right.
watch Kirt Jacobs interview some of Kentuckiana's most inspiring people on Moxie Talk every Sunday morning at 5 here on WHAS 11. And check out details online at Moxie Talk on MoxieTalk.com. We'll be right back with more Great Day Live.
Great Day Live on WHAS 11 is sponsored by Moxie Talk.